inside diameter mics, which I was going to bring another offshoot of that, which is telescope gauge, but these are inside mics, which are interchangeable also. Generally, the ends screw off, so you could put on extensions. Like so. I've got a set that goes to 24 in addition to that one, so you could take these off and go bigger. And they're for measuring diameters, or you could measure pockets with them also. You just got to get the feel in the center of the pocket this way, and then also up and down to make sure you got the closest gap. And again, it's got a micrometer scale on it, which I mic over them all the time.
Stare at 4 to 40 is $420.
So this is
A what? 4?
Stare at tubular inside micrometer, set, 4 inch to 40 inches is $420.
Oh.
So is there something that wraps around and you can, is that what that showing?
Yeah, that's what they're showing. They're showing a handle. That's what this thing here is. Shows a handle you can put on there to. But I never use it unless it's real small where you can't get your fingers in there because it's harder to get a feel on it. It goes on the other end. So it's kind of like a ratchet. You can tighten it up. Tighten up the end of it. There you go.
This helps with getting me the feel.
Holding it right.
Yeah, yeah. Like when
with that.
Like when it coming down.
Yeah.
It's definitely helping me. I can feel it. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
until it first touches, and then that's that, and then it should be 0.
Yep. Yes. Yep.
And if it's not, like I said, one of two things. Either what you're measuring isn't what you think it is, or the mic's off. And mics are adjustable by cranking this thimble around. It's got a hole right there. And you could move this a little bit.
Okay.
You don't want to do that until you're sure your mics are off, though. And when you get multiple, like the big sets of mics that have different anvils in them, you don't want to adjust the thimble because that throws every one of them off. You know what I mean? Those have anvils that you adjust,
Okay.
and you don't mess with that. These are a little bit harder to use. It's the same thing. You got to find the high point, which is the line direct across from the diameter, like he's showing. It's got to be straight across, and then you also have to go up and down so that you find the shortest point across. Not just, I mean, if you got measuring at an angle, say this is a cylinder this way, you got to move it up and down until you find the shortest point, actually. You can't just have it at an angle and crank it out, because then you'll feel it, because it'll go down, and you'll feel it touch, and then you come back up, feel it go down.
So it's like this and like this.
Yes. And it's the same way if you were measuring a slot or a big pocket. I use these to measure big pockets. Just hold one end steady, go like this, find the high point, and you got to go down below center, and then you come back up, and then you'll feel it. It'll hit, and then you're going to loosen it up. And I don't know, like I said, I should have brought, there's some telescoping gauges that these are spring-loaded, and they look like this, and you put them in a bore, and you just go like this, tighten this up a little bit, one time up, and it'll center itself on that bore, and then it'll come, once it comes up past center, then it sticks there, and then you can mic over it, because it's spring-loaded.
That's cool.
See what I mean? You squeeze it down, get it past center, stick it in the bore, and just keep one side set like that, and it finds its way this way. And then as you come past center, that's the feel, and that's the idea behind these. You got to find that same point, and then you mic over it.
Those ones are just as accurate?
Yes. Yeah. But I don't trust the dial on these. These were my dad's, and I don't know how old they are, but I always mic over them with mics I know they're right. Because all these different stems are worn. And like I said, you can't, they're a pain in the ass to adjust, so I just mic over them. That's what it amounts to.
Use it and then use something you know it's accurate to make sure what.
That's right. That's right. You could use a whatever popsicle stick to measure something, you know that's right, and then you mic over the stick and you know what size you got. But this is, you can still look at it to see, you know, if you moved it a thousandths, how sloppy is it, or if you moved it out a thousandths, to see, well, now you're too tight and you move it, then it falls right in. But again, these take a little bit of practice. So that's your inside mics.